Transformers: Rise of the Beast.
Transformers: Rise of the Beast is the newest addition to the Transformers saga. It is directed by Stephen Caple Jr. and stars Anthony Ramos, Dominique Fishback, Pete Davidson, Michelle Yeoh, Ron Perlman, my boy Peter Cullen as the voice of Optimus Prime, and so many more. Optimus Prime and the Autobots take on their biggest challenge yet when a new threat capable of destroying the entire planet emerges. They must team up with a powerful faction of Transformers known as the Maximals to save the Earth. I mean, I don't really know what to say with this movie. I mean, when I went in to watch the film, in IMAX by the way, I wasn't really expecting much. The Michael Bay movies haven't really been the best movies ever. And even though the last one, Bumblebee, was pretty good, Transformers was always this kind of movie series that was more about the spectacle than anything else, which, yeah, I know, it's like robots versus robots, who wants anything more, but I always thought that Transformers could give a little bit more when it came to its emotion and everything. So imagine my surprise when I actually came out of this theater and I was genuinely surprised by how good it was. The film manages to do something that was honestly started in Bumblebee, and that is that it actually makes you immediately care about the human characters, especially the main character, Noah Diaz, played by Anthony Ramos. From the moment his character came on screen, I was immediately hooked into his story about how he's just trying to find a job and how he's trying to just make ends meet, and he's also trying to take care of his mom and his little brother, who happens to have some kind of condition. I think it's sickle cell. I'm pretty sure that's what they said in the movie, but it's not anything super complicated, but the movie still manages to hook me into his drama. It still manages to make me feel for him, and whenever he fails, I do feel bad for him, and I do feel bad for his family and everything. So that's a one plus. That's one plus for this movie. You know, it's like, wow, the human character doesn't suck. The human character is actually good and is amazing, and is, not amazing, but it makes you care, and you're like, okay, I'm invested into this storyline. And the same goes for Dominique Fishback's Elena. She gets a little bit less than him because he's obviously the main character of the movie, but I care about her. The movie just shows me everything that I need to know about her. She's extremely smart. She loves her profession. She works at a museum. I think she's some kind of she's basically like a wannabe archaeologist that can't really just get her shot. And every time that her boss ignores her, it's just kind of like, yeah, I feel for her. It's simple stuff, but again, simplicity trumps overcomplicated shit. And so the movie does a good job of just putting you into the shoes of these people and being like, damn, that really sucks for them. The Autobots in this movie are also really good. You got Optimus Prime, you got RC, played by Liza Koshy, which I didn't know until I was doing research for the movie after I watched the movie, so props to her. She did a really good job. Obviously, Bumblebee, he doesn't have a voice actor because they're still doing that thing with him where he doesn't have a voice. His voice modulator or something got broken. I just kind of want my boy to talk again. Please, for the love of God, just have Bumblebee talk already, please. And Pete Davidson is actually playing a brand new character. From the looks of it, I couldn't find anything if this character actually existed before, but maybe I'm stupid, so feel free to roast me if I am. But yeah, he plays Mirage, and at first, I thought that this was just going to be annoying. Mirage kind of takes the role of Bumblebee, of like what Bumblebee did in the previous movies, where Bumblebee was the transformer that was always with the humans. Mirage is the one who takes that role, and I thought that was going to get really annoying. But the good news is that I actually thoroughly enjoyed Pete Davidson's performance in this movie. It's understated. He's not doing anything super insane, and by the end of the movie, I actually really liked Mirage, and I was also really invested in, the whole which Autobots are going to survive and which Autobots are not going to survive and all that kind of stuff, and the war and everything. So props on the writers for not sticking Mirage down our throats and actually making him a bearable character. and everything. And also, I have to say this, obviously, the Maximals, super cool. Ron Perlman plays Optimus Primal super well. Michelle Yeoh plays Air Razor extremely well. All of the Maximals are super cool. The CGI in this movie is actually really good. They definitely worked on it since the trailer, because the trailer had some moments where the CGI was a little but I saw this in an IMAX screen and I was in it till the very end. Yeah. And I also have to give big props to Peter Dinklage. He plays Scourge in the movie, and this guy is low-key kind of scary. Like, from the moment he shows up, it's just like, oh yeah, this dude fucks. Like, this dude is absolutely insane, and he shows off. Like, this movie actually shows the villain being a villain. And also, Unicron is actually terrifying. I actually recommend watching this movie in like IMAX or Dolby, because whenever Unicron spoke in this movie, I wasn't hearing it through the screen or anything like that. I was hearing it through the bass. Like, the entire theater was shaking when Unicron was speaking. It was kind of this like really cool thing that I don't know if they did it on purpose, but I really liked it, and it made the movie that much better, in my opinion. The action sequences are really good. I mean, they've definitely taken a page out of the Michael Bay action sequence book of the Transformers, because, I'll say this. I'm not a big fan of the Bay movies, but in terms of action, he always knew how to frame it. Even in the shittier movies, the action always looked good, and he was always good at like incorporating those intense special effects into the movie and making it look as real as possible. So yeah, they do that really well here. Obviously, the final battle is super awesome, and there's more than a few moments where I was like, oh my god, they're gonna lose. Like, wow, Unicron won, that's crazy. But that's just like good writing. Again, this movie isn't like superbly good. There's a few problems with like pacing. For example, this movie shoves a lot of exposition down your throat, because there's a lot of things that you have to learn. You have to learn about the Maximals, you have to learn about this MacGuffin that is introduced early in the movie and how it works, and then what they did to kind of like hide it and not make it so easy to be found and everything. And then there's also a lot of like, there's a few moments where the movie goes Indiana Jones, and like they're going on like a treasure hunt for this thing. And yeah, and also, as much as I liked the characters, I will say that like Elena, Dominique Fishback's character, she was used as more of a expert on the thing that they're hunting rather than more of a character. But Dominique Fishback is just such a great actress that she's able to kind of put her own personality into it and make it reasonable. So this movie's not like amazing, but this movie's good enough. And I think that if you go into it with the right mindset, if you're not looking at this movie like, oh, this is going to be an objective movie and I'm going to look at this objectively and everything, and you just look at it as like a Transformers movie and you're comparing it just to the ones that came before, I think you're going to have a lot of fun. I definitely had a lot of fun. Obviously, if you start to like think about it, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. So don't do that. I will say this. I'm not going to spoil details, obviously, but there is, at the end scene, right before the credits hit, there is a revelation in this movie that legitimately made me choke on my water. Like, I was drinking water as it was happening, and when the reveal happened, I choked. I was just like, what the fuck? I don't know what they're planning to do, but they're planning to do something, man. They're planning to expand this like Hasbro cinematic universe or whatever. It was, oh my god. And I don't know what makes me more upset, the fact that they're doing this, or the fact that I was the only one who had a genuine reaction to it, because everybody else in the theater was just like, what the fuck? And I'm sitting there like, but like, did you guys not see what they just showed us? So yeah, I'm excited for the future of Transformers and for the future of whatever Hasbro has coming at us. And yeah, it's gonna be it for my review. again, this movie is way better than any of the Bay movies. I mean, come on, are you serious? Like, do I even have to say that? But yeah, it's a Transformers movie. Like, you know what you're going to get. Like, you know what to expect. You know what you're going to get from this movie. You're going to get a lot of spectacle, a lot of everything. Not the best writing, not the best anything objective. But hey, it's a fun movie. So at the end of the day, I'm going to give this movie probably a 7.5 out of 10. Yeah, that seems fair. See you guys on the next one. Peace.